We'll be back here through daylight hours until the end of the festival. So please come back and hang out with us. But without further ado, please welcome Megan B. to the stage.
Thanks for having me, Josh.
I'm really glad this worked out. So Megan, this is cool. You're our first repeat, which is great, and well-deserved because you've had a lot going on that I want to let you talk about for your last album and some great awards you got.
Yeah, it's been a busy year. I just finished up an album in September, released it in September, called Like a Canyon, and I recorded that down in Meigs County, down at Peachfork Studios, and I hired some of the guys from the Mountain Stage band in West Virginia to come up and play with me, and we had a lot of fun in the studio. And then just at the beginning of this year, they announced the Ohio Music Awards, and it won the Americana Album of the Year and the Singer-Songwriter Album of the Year. It's exciting.
Congratulations.
It's exciting. Thanks.
Yeah, so share with us a little bit about that process. So I'm imagining it was folks like Michael Lipton and others from...
It was Ryan Kennedy.
Okay.
And it was Steve Hall.
Okay.
And then Ahmed Solomon on
Yeah,
drums.
great
So
drummer.
yeah, I was a little nervous. They're such great musicians. And Bernie Now that runs the studio, we were both at a Mountain Stage event, and we were kind of hemming about like, well, what do we want to do for this next album? And then we were at that, and he said, you should get those guys to play with you. And so we asked them, and they're so kind. They're such amazing musicians and easy to work with and open to try anything. And they had a lot of great ideas that they added into it.
Yeah. So maybe, share a little bit about that process of working with them. Like, is there a particular moment that really, or a song that stands out to you that came together in a way you didn't expect?
And Ryan actually had a lot of ideas. He had a lot of input. He really listened to the demos and came in with new ideas. And so there was ways that I played the song that completely changed when he gave his input. And I just like hearing the song for the first time, was like, oh yes, that is how it should sound. So it was cool to have that input and collaboration.
Yeah, so other than the production, thematically, just songwriting-wise, how's it kind of stepped ahead in terms of your, relative to your past albums?
Yeah, they were a lot of songs that I had written over a period of time, and they kind of evolved. So they'd kind of really been played in front of audiences, and it evolved over time. So it was cool to finally put them together as a group. And yeah.
Yeah, so songwriting-wise, though, like, where do you draw a lot of your inspiration from?
I draw a lot from people I meet when I'm traveling, and just people I interact with, but also a lot from the natural world, which has been a big part of my music from the get-go. I have a history in environmental education and natural sciences, so I look at the natural world a lot and then draw off of that.
I was talking to one songwriter, and they said that when they're in New York on the subway, they just put earbuds in with no music and just listen to conversations and draw all their...
That's good.
I thought that's a good trick. I'll have to
that's really good.
try to nick that one. So, anyone in particular that you feel like lately, is songwriter-wise, that you have been like, that's where you want to go next with the next song cycle you've been working on in terms of the sound or...
Of other songwriters?
Yeah.
Gosh, I've been diving into Patty Griffin a lot lately. I mean, I've always loved her, but like, she's resurfaced into my mind. And then I just, Kim Ritchie has been up a couple times. She has a new album. I've been really digging that too. And she's just a wonderful writer.
That's great. Well, I know everybody wants to hear some music, as do I, so please take it away.
Right.
Again, welcome Megan B. to the stage.
Party's dying down, could you give me a ride? 'Cause I've been looking for a reason to get inside of your 78 Ford Ranchero. You said, come on honey, I can take you home. Well, there's no headliner thing, sounds like a tin can. And we're riding real slow across the desert sand. And the moon's so bright it's like a black and white movie. You said, come on honey, slide closer to me. Rusted out late 70s Ford reminded me what the bench seat's for. And I got a foot on the dash, got a foot on the floor of a rusted out late 70s Ford. Now Mama always said be careful out there, but on a night like this, man, I just don't care. 'Cause you're shifting with your left hand, steering with your knee, and 'cause your right arm feels so right around me in a rusted out late 70s Ford. Reminded me what the bench seat's for. And I got a foot on the dash, got a foot on the floor of a rusted out late 70s Ford. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey, hey. Saying goodnight must have took 2 hours between the moon and the stars and the creosote flowers, and the dust and the rust and the sweat on the vinyl, and the foot on the dash, the foot on the door. We're fogging up the window and we're falling on the floor of a rusted out late 70s Ford. Reminded me what the bench seat's for. Too bad they don't make 'em like that anymore. They don't make 'em like a rusted out late 70s Ford. Rusted out late 70s Ford. Yeah, rusted out late 70s Ford. Thanks, y'all. He was talking about where do I get my inspiration? Yeah, experiences and people. And I met a friend out west. He was traveling around in an RV. He said he'd run out of a lot of things in his life over time. He said he'd ran out of money a couple times. Said he'd ran out of clean shirts here and there, and had a couple wives run out on him. But he said it's all right, you can run out of all those things, and the important thing is that you don't run out of time, because time is an important resource. And said time is important because, you know, if you still have time, that means you can still go fishing. So this is a fishing song, inspired by my buddy. Well, I ain't got much, but I've got time, and I keep my bait on the fishing line, sitting down by the river by Shady Pine. Honey, you can find me there all the time. Oh, they say there's a price to pay for everything under the sun. Oh, I pray to some fine day my paying time is done. I ain't got much, but I've got time, and I keep my bait on the fishing line. Well, I plant my seeds row by row, I tend to my garden, but the crops won't grow. So I pray for the sun, I fear for the snow, I work in the rain with a shovel and a hoe. Oh, please watch over my garden, I don't wanna see it fail. I put so much of my heart in, and I really wanna eat that kale. I ain't got much, but I've got keep my bait on the fishing line. Well, we went to the kitchen, what was there? We opened up the cupboard, but the cupboard was bare. All we found were the tortoise and the hare, a little bear cub and a broken chair. Oh, Mary, Mary, quite contrary, how can this all be? I called for my pipe and I called for my bowl, but nobody brought it to me. I ain't got much, but I've got time, and I keep my bait on the fishing line, sitting down by the river by the shady pine. Honey, you can find me there all the time. Oh, they say there's a price to pay for everything under the sun. Ooh, I pray that some fine day my paying time is done. I ain't got much, but I've got time, and I keep my bait on the fishing line. Yeah, I keep my bait on the fishing line. Yeah, I keep my bait on the fishing line. Thank you. Well, I'll play you the title track off of the new album. The album's called Like a Canyon. The title track is also called Like a Canyon. And it was inspired by some time I spent in Santa Fe. I was traveling through Santa Fe playing at the Cowgirl Barbecue, which is a fun place to play if you're in Santa Fe. And I had some time to kill, and a friend sent me down to the Georgia O'Keeffe Museum. And I didn't know much about Georgia O'Keeffe, but I went down there and was really blown away by her artwork. She spent the last part of her life out in New Mexico playing and painting all the trees and the mountains just out her back door, looking out her back door and painting whatever she saw, no matter what the season was and the weather was. She was just saw things as they were, and I just loved the way she seemed like she could find a beauty in everything. And I kind of thought, I want to be able to look at things that way, and I hope people can see each other that way too, just kind of see each other as we are. So thanks so much for having me. This one's called Like a Canyon. Color me like a canyon when the sun is hanging low down in the west. Color me like a canyon and let the red and green and blues run down my legs. Color me like a canyon, color me like a canyon and keep me in your eyes. Color me like a cottonwood tree on the driest days right before the monsoon. Color me like a cottonwood tree, looking brittle and broken, but I'm just waiting for the right amount of rain to bloom. Color me like a cottonwood tree, color me like a cottonwood and keep me in your eyes. You could see all my colors, my shadows, my creases, and my folds. And if we just keep looking at each other, well, heaven only knows. Color me like the New Mexico sky, when the ebony and the lavender collide. Color me like the New Mexico sky, and then cut holes with your razor blade to let the light shine through from the other side. Color me like the New Mexico sky. Color me like New Mexico. And keep on tearing holes in the sky. And keep me in your eyes. And color me like a canyon. Color me like a canyon. Oh, color me like a canyon. Thank you so much.
Megan, thank you so much for joining
Thanks
us.
for
Thank you
having
for
me.
coming out. This will be our last session for tonight, but we've got full days starting at 12:15 tomorrow with Michael Nalla and incredible stuff from there. So please come back and join us.